For the Kansas City Public School District and trying to regain the accreditation. Today, officials with the state's education department walk the halls to see how the district is doing.
And 41 Action News reporter Ariel Rothfield was the only reporter allowed on that tour. So Ariel, how did the tour go today?
Well, Rhiannon, you could tell some of those state officials were very impressed with students. Right now, we are outside of James Elementary in the Northeast. It's one of KCPS's highest performing schools, which is why the district invited the state to see this school and others that haven't always performed so well.
We just talked about that.
As these first graders spent the hour reading across the hall,
we're excited to have some new teachers.
Members of the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education were also learning, touring KCPS schools, including the district's first sponsored charter school, the Kansas City Neighborhood Academy.
You have an enrollment here of about 140 kids or so. So the personalization that is allowed to really take place and flourish here, we think will really advance these kids.
For years, KCPS has struggled with student performance, losing accreditation in 2011, watching more than half of its schools close their doors. But this year, for the first time in decades, the district scored enough for full accreditation. It's the first step of a long process, which includes a recommendation from these board members walking the halls.
We look at multiple annual performance reports. Then we also look at, once we've determined what's in that metric, then we also want to pay attention to what's going on with stability and leadership for example.
Missouri requires a minimum score of 70 out of 100 for full accreditation. KCPS scored exactly that.
Passed.
Individually, some schools scored better, others scored worse, which is why the district pushed for this tour to show the state how it plans to move forward.
We want to become an exemplar and a model for how you really conduct school turnaround, in particular with a lot of children that come to school with quite a few variables that are up against them.
Now, the district will need to score at least a 70 overall on next year's report in order to gain that full accreditation. It's something the superintendent tells me he believes can be done. We are live in Kansas City. Ariel Rothfield, 41 Action News.